Good morning, friends. Today's lecture is on fate and transport of air pollutant and role of plants in air pollution. First, we'll see what is air pollution or air pollutant. It is nothing but the chemicals or pollutants or some particles like dust, gases, grid, odor, smoke, or which is adversely affect or injurious to living organisms to or our environment. And simply, it is nothing but the contaminants which is present in the atmosphere that affects our living environment is known as air pollution. And these air pollutants are classified according to their chemical compositions as inorganic air pollutants and organic air pollutants. And some gases like carbon monoxide, sulfuric acid, hydrogen sulfides are also released to atmosphere that will affect our ecosystem. And some man-made pollutants also there like gases, mist, etc. that is resulting from our chemical and biological process that can be done by the human beings. And our Indian ambient air quality standards specify the maximum limit to which major pollutants like sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, suspended particle matter, carbon monoxides in permitted in various zones like industrial, residential and sensitive zones at and that can be monitored by National Ambient Quality Monitoring Program. And next, the International Ambient Air Quality Standards, that is US Primary Ambient Air Quality Standards, fixes the maximum allowable outdoor concentration of air pollutants. And these primary standards are those necessary to protect our public health. And some secondary standards also there that are to protect against other effects such as damage to plants, materials, etc. In India, the Central Pollution Control Board initiated the National Ambient Air Quality Monitoring Program in the year 1984 with 7 stations, and later it was renamed as National Air Monitoring Program. And there's numbers are increased as 295 by the year 2000 in all over our country. It is observed that the air pollution problem is serious mainly due to the major vehicle population or increase in the urbanization in major cities like Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and Mumbai. Due to their increase in urbanization in over years, the industrial commercial activities also increased, and then the vehicle population also increased. That led to a number of environmental problems, and this can be noted as different types of problems in different zones. The sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxide level are exceeds our average annual average level like Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Mumbai. And there are short-term violation of nitrous oxide emission in the winter months of Mumbai and Delhi. Among that, most critical form of pollution is respirable suspended particle matter accumulation in all major cities. And finally, they examined the suspended particle matter level also exceeded the average annual level in major cities like Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and Mumbai. And next, we'll see the primary gaseous pollutants. There are five major primary pollutants that contribute more than 90% of our global problem. First one is carbon monoxide. This is the colorless, odorless, and tasteless gas. It is also not cannot able to soluble in water. This can be released by natural process like volcanic eruption, gas discharge, seed germination, and also organic waste burning. And second thing is nitrogen oxides. These nitrogen gases has nitric oxide and nitrous oxide. There are two things. Nitric oxide has colorless and odorless gas. Nitrous oxide has color reddish brown, and it has pungent suffocating odor. And third thing is hydrocarbons. These are released by natural process, especially the major naturally occurring hydrocarbons or methane that is emitted to atmosphere. Automobiles are the major source to remove release of these gases. And fourth one is sulfur oxides. These also the colorless gas with pungent odor produced by the combustion of sulfur bearing materials. This will react with the nitrous oxide and water which is present in the atmosphere and form create acid rain. That was very serious problem in our ecosystem. And finally, we have particulate matters. The small solid particles and liquid droplets which is present in the atmosphere are collectively known as particulates. And these particulates are released by various natural processes like volcanic eruption, blowing of dust and soil by the wind, spraying of salt from the oceans and seas, etc. like that. And then uh, the impact of air pollutants on public health. Some air pollutants are very toxic and that are termed as hazardous to human problem. Those are suspected to cause cancer and other some serious health issues like reproductive effects or birth effect. And also it will create neurological, respiratory, developmental and other health problems, etc. And when peoples are exposed to toxic air pollutants by many ways like by breathing or by eating, drinking the contaminated water or ingesting, and also by touching the waste materials or dust particles which is present in our ecosystem. And next we'll see the bioindicators. This is nothing but the species or living organisms which are used to monitor or determine the emission of pollutants to the environment or our ecosystem. This can tell us about the cumulative effect of different pollutants in the ecosystem. Depending upon the organism, there are several, they can be classified as plant, animals, microbial and chemical, and macro invertebrate bioindicators. This is nothing but the plants, animals, and microbes are used to determine the uh, release of pollutants or rate of pollutants or amount of pollutants or concentration of pollutants which is present in our atmosphere. Plant indicators are nothing but the plants are used to determine the distribution pattern of emission of pollutants. Another term is called biomonitoring. It is nothing but the monitoring of pollution status of a state by bioindicators. And also it will impact, and also it will helps to know the impact of environmental pollution by organisms. And these bioindicators are used to measure the cumulative impact of different types of environmental pressure. And also some indicators are like pine needles, mosses, lichens and honeybees are used for determine the emission matter. For example, pine needles are used to identify the sulfur and heavy metal which is present in the atmosphere. Mosses are very sensitive bioindicators for determining the heavy metal contamination in the atmosphere. Lichens are for sulfur dioxide pollution. And finally we have honeybees that will helps to monitor the environmental pollution by heavy metals in urban surveys. Thank you.